Hi everyone, my name is Prakhar Gupta and I am a third year BTech student at Sri GS Institute of Technology and Science. I learned a lot of new things during my project. So in this video I am going to teach you about the different new things I learned while working on my project. Now at first the most important thing I have learned is Django web framework. So first we will learn about Django basics and life cycle. Now let's take a moment to discuss what Django is and why I choose it for my project. Django is a high-level framework for Python that encourages rapid development and clean, pragmatic design. Django is a free and open source Python-based web framework that runs on web server. It follows the model template view (MTV) architectural pattern. It's known for its simplicity and effectiveness in building web applications. One of the key features of Django is its battery included philosophy, meaning it comes with a wide array of built-in functionality such as admin interface, database ORM, object relational mapping, authentication system, and much more. Here are a few reasons why I chose Django for my project. First, rapid development. Django's built-in tools and libraries allows for faster development. This is particularly useful for projects like mine, where I needed to focus on functionality without getting bogged down by repetitive tasks. Second, it's robust security. Django provides strong security features right out of the box, including protection against common web vulnerabilities like SQL injection, cross-site scripting, and cross-site request forgery. This was crucial for my project, which handles sensitive timetable data. Scalability. Django is designed to handle high traffic applications, making it a great choice for projects that might grow in complexity or user base over time. Fourth, community and documentation. Django has a large and active community, which means there are plenty of resources, tutorials, and third party packages available. The official documentation is also comprehensive and well maintained, and making it easier to troubleshoot issues and implement new features. And other features are like there is inbuilt in admin panel, inbuilt user. Python is easy to integrate with ML and CV models, which is demand of today. Easy compatibility with a lot of databases. Now, let's briefly discuss Django's architecture known as MVT, which stands for Model View Template. First, model. The model is responsible for managing the data and business logic of the application. In Django, models are defined as Python classes that represent database tables, allowing you to interact with database using Python objects rather than writing SQL queries. This simplifies data manipulation and helps maintain data integrity. Models, the logical data structure. Second, view. The view acts as the intermediary between the model and template. It handles user requests, processes data through model, and sends the appropriate response to the template. In Django, views are typically defined as functions or classes that return HTTP responses, rendering the necessary information to the user. Third, template. The template is responsible for presenting data to the user. It defines the structure and layout of the web pages using HTML, CSS, and Django's template language, which allows for dynamic content rendering. Templates can include placeholders for data that will be filled in by the view when the page is rendered. This MVT architecture promotes a clear separation of concerns, making it easier to manage and maintain the code base. It also enhances the development process by allowing developers to work on different components of the application independently. Let's see how Django works. First, client sends request to controller. Controller give the task to views. Views do their work after fetching data from models or databases. Then it returns to controller. In the end, controller give responses to the client in the form of templates, for example, HTML and CSS web pages and other Django templates. Let's take a moment to discuss the different layers in Django which contribute to its architecture and functionality. Django can be viewed as having several layers, each serving a specific purpose. Presentation layer. This layer is responsible for the user interface and is built using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. It includes templates that render the data provided by the view. This layer interacts directly with users and present information in a user-friendly format. Second, business logic layer. This layer consists of the view and handles the core logic of the application. It processes user requests, interacts with the model to retrieve or manipulate data, and returns the appropriate response to the presentation layer. This separation allows for cleaner code and easier maintenance. Third, data access layer. The model represents this layer which interacts with the database. It defines the structure of the data and provides an abstraction layer for data manipulation. So, Django's ORM developers can perform database operations using Python code instead of raw SQL, simplifying the process of managing data. The fourth and the last, database layer. This is where the actual data is stored. Django supports multiple databases, allowing developers to choose the one that best fits their needs. The database layer works closely with the data access layer to store and retrieve information as needed. These layers work together seamlessly, enabling developers to build robust and scalable web applications while keeping the code organized and maintainable. Now let's learn how to set up a Django project from scratch. Step 1. Install Python. First, ensure that you have Python installed on your machine. You can download it from the official Python website. Django is compatible with Python 3.6 or above. Step 2. Set up virtual environment. It's a good practice to create a virtual environment for your Django project to manage dependencies separately. We can create one virtual environment using different commands. For example, first navigate to your project directory by cd your project directory name. Then second, create a virtual environment by the command python -m vnv mynv. And now third, activating the virtual environment on Windows. It is /mynv/script/activate. This will activate the Django this will activate the virtual environment on your project. Third, install Django. Once your virtual environment is activated, you can install Django using pip using the command pip install Django. Next, check Django version by checking Django -p. It will check the update. It will give the version which you have in your project. Now, step 4, create a Django project. With Django installed, you can create a new project. Use the following command, replacing my project with your desired project name. Django admin, use the command Django admin start project and your project name. Step 5. Navigate to the project directory. Change into your project directory by the command cd space my project your project name. Step 6. Step 6. Add in settings. The app you have created, add them into the installed applications to know to to tell Django that you have added a project. Now next, make migrations. Make migrations. The databases, the other models you have created, making them migrate by make migrations command. Now migrate will migrate that changes to the Django databases. Now last, we have to run the development server to check if everything is set up correctly by the command python manage.py run server. Now, at last, you can access your project by navigating to http 127.0.0.1 colon 8000 slash in your web browser. If you see the Django welcome page, congratulations, your Django project is successfully set up. Now your work has been done. Now let's talk about the Django super user and the admin panel, which are essential features for managing your Django application. First, super user. A super user is a special user account in Django that has full administrative privileges over your application. This account can create, read, update, and delete any data in the database, as well as manage other users. You can create a super user by running the following command in your terminal. Python manage.py create super user. You will be prompted to enter a username, email, and password. Once created, this super user account allows you to access the Django admin panel. Django provides a default admin interface that is required to perform operations like create, read, update, and delete on the model directly. To access the admin interface, Django creates a super user command used. Localhost 8000 admin is used to access the admin interface in the browser. Now, Django's admin panel. The Django admin panel is a powerful built-in interface for managing the content of your application. It provides a web-based dashboard that allows you to perform administrative tasks without writing additional code. Within the admin panel, you can view and manage your models and their instance, add, edit, or delete records, customize the admin interface for better usability by modifying your models and creating admin classes. The admin panel is highly extensible, allowing developers to add custom functionalities and tailor the experience to their specific needs. Conclusion. In summary, the super user and Django admin panel are invaluable tools for managing your application efficiently, providing a user-friendly way to handle data and perform administrative tasks. Next, let's discuss Django's ORM and the models.py file, which are key components of Django's architecture. Django's ORM, Object Relational Mapping. Django's ORM allows you to interact with the database using Python code instead of writing raw SQL queries. It provides a high level of abstraction for database operations, enabling you to create, retrieve, update, and delete records seamlessly. This makes database interactions intuitive and easier to manage. Now, models.py. In Django, each application typically contains a models.py file where you define your data models. A model is a Python class that represents a table in the database. Each attribute of the class corresponds to a field in that table. Field types. Django provides various field types such as char field, integer field, date field, etc. to match the data you want to store. Now, methods. You can also define methods within your model to add custom behavior. The str method, for instance, returns a string representation of the object. The Object Relational Mapper (ORM) is one of the Django's most powerful features, allowing you to interact with your database in the same way that you would with SQL. In truth, Django's ORM is essentially a Pythonic technique to build SQL to query and edit your database and obtain results. It is mapping from OOPS to SQL queries. Now let's take a closer look at the views.file file in Django, which plays a crucial role in the model view template (MVT) architecture. A view function, or a view for short, is a Python function that takes a web request and returns a web response. This response can be HTML contents of a web page, of a redirect or a 404 error, or an XML document or an image, or anything really. The view itself contains whatever arbitrary logic is necessary to return that response. The views.py file is where you define the business logic of your application. It acts as the bridge between the model, data, and the template presentation. In other words, view handle user request, interact with the models to retrieve or manipulate data, and return the appropriate responses, usually in the form of HTML pages. Now, defining views. In Django, you can define views as either functions or class-based views. Here's a simple example of function-based view. Their function definition and different querying data, querying the database, rendering a template. All of these we do in the same view. There are there are different class-based views. We can also use class-based views for more complex logic and better organization. The conclusion. In summary, the views.py file is essential for managing the application's logic in Django. It handles incoming requests, interacts with models to fetch or update data, and renders templates to display the results to the users. By structuring your views effectively, you can create a clean and maintainable code base. Next, let's discuss the urls.py file in Django, which is essential for routing user requests to the appropriate views in our application. urls.py contains the root URL configuration or URL conf of the entire project. It is a Python list of patterns assigned to a global variable called URL patterns. The url.py file defines the URL patterns for our Django application. It maps URLs to views, allowing Django to determine which view to invoke based on the requested URL. This routing mechanism is crucial for creating a structured and organized web application. Now we start that we know that the url.py file is a vital component of Django's application, allowing us to define URL patterns and connect them to specific views. This organization not only helps in managing our application's routing but also enhances the overall structure and readability of our. Now let's talk about templates or HTML files. A template in Django is basically written in HTML, CSS, and JavaScript in a .html file. Django framework efficiently handles and generates dynamic HTML web pages that are visible to the end user. Ginger 2 is a fast and expressive templating engine for Python programming. It is widely used in web development and is known for its simplicity and flexibility. It allows you to embed dynamic content within your HTML templates by using placeholders and control structures. HTML templates in Django are files that define the structure and layout of the web pages. They allow us to separate the presentation layer from the business logic, making our application more organized and maintainable. By using templates, we can create dynamic content that adapts based on the data provided by the views. Template structure. Django template uses a simple syntax that enables us to include variables, control structures, and template inheritance. Now, conclusion. HTML templates in Django allow us to create dynamic and structured web pages. By separating the presentation layer from the business logic, we can build maintainable and scalable applications. With features like variable substitution, control structures, and template inheritance, Django templates provide us a powerful way to generate HTML content. At last, thank you all of you for joining me in this exploration of my Django project. I hope you found this overview helpful in understanding the key concepts and components I have learned along the way. Thank you so much for joining.